The federal government could shut down tomorrow if Congress does not agree on a package to keep the government open. Meanwhile, DOGE continues to cut Social Security staffing and close offices. What does this mean for your Social Security and disability benefits? Are your benefits going to continue to be paid? Let's jump right into it. So, there is breaking news from the Washington Post today. It says Washington braces for a government shutdown as DOGE cuts continue. The White House would have broad power to decide what agencies stay open if funding lapses. So, I have a question for you, and I want you to go into the comments and share your opinion. What do you think should be done to avoid a government shutdown? Because it looks like we've gone down this path many, many times, and they fail to agree to a compromise, and then benefits are threatened for a lot of people. What do you think should be done to avoid a government shutdown? If you're new here, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, because all we do is bring you the latest news and update, anything in and out of Congress that will affect your Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, and more. Before we get started, as usual, I want to know where you are watching this broadcast from. So go into the comments and let me know your city and state, because we like to know where our viewers are coming from. Now, let's dive into this breaking news. What seniors and benefit recipients need to know about the pending government shutdown that may threaten your benefits. So, the current situation is that the government funding is expected to expire midnight on Saturday, March the 15th, potentially triggering a shutdown that differs from previous ones because many agencies are already experiencing disruptions. So do not think that this is going to be your typical government shutdown, because we're already in many layers of crisis, with many agencies losing staff. And so you layer this on top of that, and this could be very, very catastrophic for a lot of people. President Trump and Elon Musk have been working to reduce government size through dismissals and resignation of thousands of federal workers, creating tension with Congress over spending authority. Unlike typical shutdowns, this situation could intensify existing problems at agencies that provide essential services and benefits that seniors and low income families depend on for daily necessities. Now, there are ongoing challenges with this. The administration has already dismissed many federal workers and accepted deferred resignation from approximately 77,000 employees who will stop working shortly but also remain on the payroll until September. So the government services are already showing a strain. National park hours have been cut, long lines, technology system at key agencies are breaking down, and customer service wait times are increasing across multiple departments, especially the Social Security Administration. And we just did a video today that shows that the Social Security Administration is even considering cutting phone services even further. So things are really escalating in a lot of places. And then you get down to the news of today. This shutdown centers on fundamental dispute about who controls federal spending. The Constitution gives this power to Congress, but President Trump and his administration is asserting broad authority to determine which programs receive funding regardless of congressional approval. So there is tension there, because if Congress is going to approve or make appropriations for certain programs, and the president can decide whether they're going to move forward with that program or not, then what is the role of Congress, which has been granted constitutional authority with the power of the purse? So the current status is that technology systems at the Social Security Administration have begun to malfunction following mass layoffs, creating potential problems for benefits processing and customer service when millions of Americans depend on timely payments. More than 71 million Americans receive Social Security for retirement, disability, survival benefits, many of whom live on fixed income and cannot easily absorb any delay. So the whole thing that you need to think about is that while this is happening, even if there's a few days delay in Social Security benefits as a result of all these chaos, people are going to be impacted, because a lot of seniors and people on disability are on low income and on fixed income, And so they need their payments on time to pay their bills. The administration insists that cuts to Social Security and Medicare staffing won't affect actual benefits. But current and former officials report service deterioration that could impact timely delivery of payments or ability to resolve account problems. On top of that, there's issues at the IRS. The Internal Revenue Service is processing fewer tax returns compared to last year after losing nearly 7,000 employees last month, many who were specifically hired to improve taxpayer services. So we're going back instead of forward when it comes to selling services from the federal government. People calling the IRS for assistance now face significantly longer wait times, creating additional barriers for seniors and low-income filers who may not have internet access or comfort with online filing options. Potential delays in processing tax returns could postpone refunds that many families count on for essential expenses and reduce staffing limits. The help available for these families who are trying to get help for their tax returns is going to be even challenging. So, what's happening at other agencies that could be impacted by all of this? Well, the USAID, the administration has attempted to dissolve the International Agency for Development completely, which could impact international humanitarian assistance. The Education Department is also experiencing turmoil. Officials ordered the Department of Education to fire nearly half of its staff, potentially affecting student loan processing, education, grant administration, and various education support programs. And then on top of that, there's the Veterans Affairs Department. Plans are being considered to cut tens of thousands of employees at the VA, which could impact healthcare and benefit services for millions of veterans, many of whom are seniors. And then there's government credit cards. Federal workers can no longer charge more than $1. You heard that right. More than $1 to government credit cards, affecting everything from military research to basic maintenance operations like trash pickup and facilities management. So, what is being done? House Republicans have passed a bill on Tuesday, March 11th, that would extend the government funding until September 30th, sending the measure to the Senate. However, the bill needs support from at least 7 Democrats to overcome the filibuster, but many Democrats oppose the legislation for one reason: because they believe it enables Elon Musk and Donald Trump and his government to dispute, basically run rampant with the budget. So even though Congress is approving the budget and approving it for specific things, the Democrats are afraid that once they approve this, the money is not going to be spent on what they approved it for. It's going to be taken and directed somewhere else or eliminated altogether. So Republicans who control both houses and the White House are now pushing to keep the government open, while Democrats are resisting certain funding measures in what they describe as an effort to stop unconstitutional executive control over spending. So, what happens during the shutdown? How is this going to affect you? Well, let's talk about essential services. By law, functions required for national security and the continuity of government must continue during a shutdown, though there is significant concerns about how the administration will interpret what qualifies as essential. We already know that the Trump administration does not care whether something is essential or not. They're going to shut it down if they want to. So even if the government shuts down, and by law, they are supposed to keep essential services open, including sending Social Security and disability payments, are they going to consider that essential? During the shutdown, some federal employees are furloughed, while others deemed essential must continue working without immediate compensation until funding is restored. All federal employees are legally entitled to receive back pay for the shutdown period once it ends, whether they were furloughed or required to work, but this doesn't help with immediate bills or expenses during the shutdown. So, how can you prepare for the shutdown? Well, let's talk about benefits. Collect and securely store documentation of all your benefits, payment schedules, and account numbers. If possible, print recent statements showing your current benefits amounts to have as reference if online systems become unavailable. Identify multiple ways to contact your local Social Security office. SNAP administrator, or other benefit providers. Write down phone numbers, addresses, and any case worker information you have in case the website goes down. And then connect with family members, neighbors, church groups, and community organizations who might provide temporary assistance if benefit payments are delayed. Now, this may all seem doom and gloom, but you need to prepare because we are in uncharted waters. We haven't seen anything like this before, where the federal government is being, you know, downsized in unprecedented ways. At the same time, there's a looming government shutdown. So, who is going to work and who is not going to work? What systems are going to be kept up and what is not? Which agencies are going to be allowed to be open and which is not? We don't know because it isn't clear what the government is going to consider as essential. So you may think that your benefits are safe from previous experiences, but we are not in those times. We are in different times. And so these 3 tips on how to prepare, you should take seriously because you may need to prepare for what's about to happen. For reliable updates, check USA.gov, SSA.gov, benefits.gov, or call the Social Security hotline at 1-800-772-1213. Local news stations often provide information that affects your local areas regarding government services that remain open or closed. And then contact your local area agency on aging for seniors, community action agency, or food banks for emergency assistance if benefits are delayed. Many of these organizations have support programs during government disruptions. And then if you experience critical need for food, medicine, or housing due to benefits disruption, call 211 for referral to local emergency services that remain available regardless of government status. So, what are the big things you should take away from this? The first one is that this shutdown is different. It's different from previous ones with unusual circumstances, making it harder to predict exactly how services will be affected. Pay close attention to official announcements about your specific benefits. Be prepared. Create a backup plan now for how you will manage if these delays or possible. And know your rights. Remember that benefits like Social Security are entitlements that should continue even during a shutdown through administrative functions. May be slow. Keep records of all communication with government agencies. And I know when I use the word entitlement, people get bent out of shape. Social Security is an entitlement program because you are entitled to it. You paid into it, so the government has to pay you if you are eligible. That is what entitlement benefits are. So, Social Security hopefully should be flowing in terms of payment during a shutdown. But as I've said, we are in uncharted territories and we don't know what Elon Musk and President Trump are going to decide is essential and what is not. Don't wait until you're in a crisis to seek help. Contact benefit offices or support organizations immediately if you notice problems with your benefits or services, as delay may increase as the situation develops. So, this is breaking news. We wanted to bring it to you today so that you can stay informed and stay prepared and stay ahead. So, let us know in the comment section what you think the government should do about this looming crisis and what would you suggest they do in order to keep the government open. Comment below in the comment section. And until I see you in the next video, thank you for watching.